Hello and welcome back to the Thomarosa. In our last video you kept hearing, oh, we're so busy, it's springtime. Well, what have we been doing? Let us show you. Virginia here has been busy in the garden.
This is an in-ground plot that we're establishing.
It was all sod, so it was a beast to rototill.
And I've discovered that having a pogo stick as a kid is finally paying off.
We also have our raised beds, which you can see behind me, and we are continuing to garden in those. So we got to get those fixed up and we got to get a fence put in around the garden. This is what we call the berm. It's behind our house. It's where a lot of the topsoil from when we built the house went. But we've been busy planting things on here too. So we have an apple tree here. This was actually planted last year in the fall. We got a blueberry, Jersey blueberry of course. Another blueberry, different variety. This is a Jersey blueberry. And another blueberry, Blu-ray or something like that. And then at the end we transplanted this Douglas hawthorn or black hawthorn. So it was under the power lines, and if we hadn't done anything, eventually it would have got cut down. So we figured we'd try transplanting it. Hopefully it takes. It's already starting to bud out. And if it doesn't make it, well, it would have got cut down by the utility anyway. So hopefully we're giving it a second chance. We put the sweet cedar split rail fence in front of the house. We have these glass insulators. They're just sitting on the tops of the posts right now, but I actually do want to get pegs for them. And they will actually support an electric fence wire when we're done. But we really like them. We like the colors. They're just pretty cool. We also put some split rail fence along the side of the barn as well. In addition to doing the pretty cedar fences, we've been doing some regular fencing as well. Got a stretch behind me here. So this is actually an established fence line, but we had to cut it off when we built the barn, and it kind of just hung out very slack and not very effective. So built this new brace, replaced some damaged posts, restretched the wires, got it all ready for this year's grazing season. Behind me is our dairy's wastewater disposal area. So this has been in place since, I believe, April of last year, right before we got licensed as a dairy. But this year we got around to putting a permanent fence around it. We'd always been required to keep the cows out of it, so this last year we just used temporary fencing with poly wire to keep the cows out, but went ahead and put in some new fence. I call it new fence, but it's all salvage materials really, with the exception of a few pieces of cedar that I had to buy for braces. Otherwise it's pretty much just reused posts, leftover pieces of wire and other fencing stuff I just had on hand. Trying to landscape it up a little bit. We just planted this river birch here. It's a tree that'll soak up a lot of water, which is good. It's what we want. We also planted a willow. You can see it there. Another tree that soaks up a lot of water. These little brown stubs in the trench, that's cattails. Put up a bird box for some swallows. And this pile of rocks is actually where the water comes out. It goes through a 2-chamber septic tank first to pre-treat it, settle out any solids, and give it a little bit of an anaerobic treatment, and then the water comes down into these, I'll call them swales, but these ditches, if you will, where it infiltrates. But yeah, we're going to do some more landscaping in here, make it kind of a little oasis, a little habitat Wildlife likes edges, so this will provide some good edges in our big pasture for them. Spud is after a rodent. See his paws way down in the hole. You get it? Even with 3 legs, he's a pretty good hunter. He's always getting mice and gophers. Carly is enjoying this great weather. She's being outside more and just being an all-around great farm dog. Is it a pergola for the shop? No, it's just not finished yet. So we've started on this little roof. We're gonna call this the tractor shed. And what it is this area right outside the shop here is where I like to do cutting, grinding, welding, stuff like that, because I don't want to catch my shop on fire. So we put a roof over it. It's also going to be where we park the tractor. And the other thing is, because of its location, in inclement weather when the power goes out, which is usually when the power goes out, we can park the tractor and the generator under here where it'll be protected, and then we can just plug into the power system right there with our generator. So we got a little bit more work to do. We got to put some purlins across and then put the metal on top. The cows are still doing great. We are still feeding them hay, but we are starting to graze them on some fresh green nubbins that are sprouting up, so we're moving them through the fields now pretty quick. And in May they should start calving, so that's very exciting for us. In addition to the outside work of getting the garden ready, we've also been starting some plants inside. The chickens are still doing well. After their winter break, we've gone ahead and turned on their light again, and egg production is slowly increasing. As part of our local volunteer fire department, this dry spring has kept us busy as well, which does not bode well for this upcoming summer. So Virginia, what do we got left to do?
Well, we've got to finish up some maintenance in the barn and the dairy, and we need to do some more fencing. And we're waiting for the grass to grow a little bit, and then we'll start our rotational grazing, finishing up the gardening, and we'll go from there.
Yep, we have calving in about a month starting.
Little baby calves.
Little babies.
I'm so excited.
All right, thanks for joining us on the Thomarosa. We'll see you next time.
Bye.